Welcome to the School of Survivors. My name is James Fuentes. I want to discuss today how to break bad habits using spirituality. You may be in a point of your life that you're struggling in your intimate relationship. There may be pain and suffering there due to maybe bad habits you developed in your life or through your lifespan. It may be something in the workplace where you have developed a bad habit that is interfering with your productivity, your success, and maybe even your pocketbook, your finances. Whatever your case may be, in this video, spiritual discussion, I'm going to give you some very powerful information that can help us conquer those challenges that we may be experiencing in life that is causing you pain, that is causing you suffering. And I want to help us be relieved from this and have the spiritual ammo to be successful over those situations. Firstly, let's define what a bad habit is. A bad habit is something, of course, as you may know, that we have been repeating over time. It's repetitive and it becomes a part of us, a way of life. It could be something as simple as leaving your shoes at the door when you walk into your home. It could be a bad habit, maybe not picking up after yourself. There are other bad habits when it has to do with food, what we consume and what we receive into our body, whether that's smoking, alcohol, what we are watching, maybe negativity in the news every day. This can become a bad habit because it's feeding your spirit, whether good or bad. It is definitely a habit if we are allowing it to become part of our life and our way of living. So how do we break a bad habit using spirituality? Well, we want to understand, first of all, that we are made up of three parts. We are mind, we are body, and we are spirit. So what does this mean? Well, this is the human constitution. The mind, first of all, is just a tool. It is not necessarily who we are deeply within our core, our characteristics. We can maybe put on a facade and we are pretending to be someone or something. That is not at the core who we are. In our body, we can feel certain emotions in the stomach, and this can also cause pain, anxiety, depression, and all sorts of emotions that can interfere with our way of living. And also we are spirit. And notice here that the spirit is separate from the mind and the body. Some like to call this the soul. Some spiritual teachers, if you have heard of Eckhart Tolle and you study his works, he likes to call this being. And of course, the traditional word that we have used over the centuries is God. But whatever your perspective, whatever your spiritual background, your religious belief, is not relevant in this case because we are all made up of the same thing. We are created in the likeness of the universe. We have a mind, we have a body, and we have a spirit. And when we understand that the mind is just a tool for us to make everyday decisions, for us to be successful over things in life, whether finances, relationship, or our health, we are using the mind as a tool to make good decisions. And this is why I like to reference the old writer, Paul, who was an ancient writer, said, to capture every thought that comes into the mind if it's not going to serve you. Because if you allow a negative thought to enter, it now has broken the perimeter, and now it is going to try to gain momentum in your life. And as long as we allow it to take momentum and we allow that thought to push forward, then it can become dangerous to our body and to our spirit. Think of a vehicle, for example. When we get into the car, we use our mind. This is our free will. This is our free moral agency. We turn on the car, and it is up to us to put it in drive and press the gas and take forward motion or momentum. It is the same way with thoughts. When the thought enters, whether it is good or bad, we have the ability, the power, the command center to tell that thought to take action or not. And so to break a bad habit, one of the first things we have to understand is that the mind is telling the body what to do. This is action. And so to break a habit, we have to capture the thought and not give it momentum. It has also been scientifically studied that the body, now as we talk about the body a little bit, that the body does not know the difference of what's happening in reality versus thought. And for example, think about the food pickles. Sometimes when we think about eating pickles, our mouth starts to water, and that is the mind being triggered and telling the body to produce a certain chemical. When you think about a vacation, you want to take a nice trip somewhere. Maybe you want to go to a resort or a beach. Maybe you want to rent a quiet cabin and get away from society a little bit. And you just want to relieve your mind, your body, and your spirit and become balanced and just enjoy nature and not have all these distractions around you, such as the bad media news, what is happening in politics, what is happening in your relationship, what is happening in your finances. And these are the three areas. And as they say, the big three: health, wealth, and relationships. These are the three areas of our life that we must make sure that we are taking care of. So the point that we're trying to make here is, if the body does not know the difference, and we can trigger these thoughts just by thought alone and with our mind, that means that we can think ourselves into being sick. We can think ourselves into being in danger. And we create this dynamic, this environment that is a negative environment just by simple thought alone. And this is powerful to understand, because when we are trying to break a bad habit, we have to understand the mind and the body, how they work in conjunction together. They are intertwined very closely. And it's very important to know this so that we can be successful over those struggles and challenges that we are having. So if we can think ourselves into being sick, or the opposite of that is that we can think ourselves into being successful, feeling the positive feeling even before we have reached that vacation dream that we want to take, that dream vacation that we want to take. We can feel the feeling of a beautiful, intimate relationship before we are in that relationship. And the same goes for our finances. We can envision that we are abundant and that we are blessed and we have what we need. We are content, but we are also in a position to help others financially. This is a spiritual practice that can help us to break bad habits. And here's a quick little tip before we get into the last part of this discussion, which is the spirit. There's a book called Atomic Habits that I went through, and one of the things that the author said was, if you're trying to break a bad habit, make it easy, make it satisfying, and also make it attractive. This could mean if you're going to the gym certain times of the week, put out your gym clothes. Put out gym clothes that you enjoy wearing, that are comfortable. Maybe some nice shoes that are comfortable and you enjoy the clothing. That is making your habit, your good habit, attractive. That is making your habit to be formed properly. That is making your habit easy. And so through time, it becomes second nature, as they say. And this will help you to overcome the bad habit and introduce more often the good habit. And eventually you start to rewire the mind and the body. And now, as we discussed lastly, the spirit. The spirit, or your being, is the entire constitution of you. I personally believe that being or spirit is not subject to time, past, or future. It is living in the now, as we reference Eckhart Tolle. And if you begin to study his works more deeply, his theme is to live in the now, to live in the present. And why is this important when breaking a bad habit? Because if we gravitate naturally to the negative thought that we cannot break this habit, I cannot get out of this situation. In other words, it's like we are naturally drawn to the negative themes of life. And this is why it's important for us to understand that our being has the power to be balanced, and it has the spiritual power to allow us to get through life with ease and flow, because we are not distracted by past or by the future. More importantly, we are enjoying every step of the way of our life. And that could be simply maybe just having a laugh with your friend, a family member, or your intimate partner. That could be just enjoying a dinner together or a meal together, and you are engaged in conversation. You're in the moment with that person. You're not thinking about problems. And another interesting analogy when we are talking about being and spirit is that light and darkness cannot mix. And this is why when you live in the now, it leaves no room for past or future. It is just pure joy. It is pure peace of mind. So this is how we can break bad habits. We must understand that the mind is a tool, that the mind is the command center that can tell the body what to do. It triggers those emotions or those chemicals that are produced in the body, and that the spirit or being is the one that is constant. It does not change. It is always good. It is always there to help us in our life. It is that part of the universe that is just pure consciousness. And when we reach the point of breaking bad habits successfully, we become aware, we become conscious, and then life starts to flow with ease, and you can get your peace and joy back. I hope that this was helpful. If you like content like this, don't forget to like the video. Share this message with someone that you know needs to hear it in breaking bad habits and how we are 3 parts. If you like this video, subscribe to this channel, The School of Survivors, where we discuss spirituality and how that we can just live life skillfully.